So on the From the Throne podcast, you talk about a lot of different topics. But there was one episode recently where the topic was, will I walk again, and how do I feel about it? So, from my perspective, it'd be like, is there a cure, and how do I feel about it if there's a cure? So, like, there is no cure for my eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa. There's no cure for it, so it is what it is, and there's things in the works, there's all these different things in the works with science and, injections in the eyes and whatnot. But I've kind of come to the conclusion personally that, yeah, I'd love a cure, right? I'd love a cure. And if there was a cure, I'd say, hey, I'm going into the clinic tomorrow. I'm going to get it. But that's not the case. And I'd rather just assume that I'm not going to get cured and just kind of get my mind working in that direction. Like, it is what it is. If I lose my vision, I lose my vision. I'm not going to I'm not going to sit there and just sit in my apartment and be like, I can't wait for a cure, and not be proactive and adapt like we talked about earlier in the episode. I got to change my mind. I got to learn how to use a white cane. I got to learn how to use assistive technology with computers and all that. There's so much that I still need to learn to do versus waiting around for cure. So that's my point of view. I'm kind of cool with not having I'm not cool with it, but personally I'm cool with it, not having a cure. So, all right, now I'll throw it back at you. One, the first question is, will you be able to walk again? Is there a cure, like I'm talking about for my vision? And if not, are you cool with that? Or if do you ever, what's the conflicting thoughts there,
so
I guess?
To answer the first question, is there a cure? Well, there's a lot of things in the works. As far as like, stem cell therapy, but it's all about money. It's all about money. They have stem cells therapy, and it's all about funding. Like they have different implants you can put in your spine where it connects to your spinal cord, whatever the damage is at. But like I said, it all comes down to money. And it costs more money to keep people in wheelchairs and disabled rather than fixing them, if that makes sense. Right?
Yeah.
Like, why would I cure something is making me billions of dollars? So on that note, as far as would I like to walk again? So shout out to my co-hosts, Frenchie and Antoine. That question was asked to the three of us. He had said, with all the stuff that life taught them while being in a wheelchair, and they will be satisfied. They'll be okay with it, right? Me, I want to play kickball tomorrow, okay? Right? I want to play basketball. I want to do some jumping jacks, right? So I'll do it. Don't get me wrong, right? Because hey, like, just because I carry everything well, and just because I've done all this stuff and accomplished everything doesn't mean I just don't want to walk again, right? Like, walking, don't get me wrong. If I would never walk again, I'd be okay with it, right? There's a chance? Yeah, right? Because I think about the other people impacted by me not walking, right? Like, I think about my wife, right? Like, I want to walk her down the aisle, right? Think about things like that. Even though I'm still going to walk her down the aisle, I'm going to use, like, leg braces, but you know what I mean? So I want my mind run into shit like that. But I'm like, yeah, I would love to, you know what I mean? But don't get me wrong, the lessons this has taught me being in a wheelchair and how society, treats people with disabilities. And like I said, we wasn't born like this, right? So I definitely see both sides, right? I see, because I was walking for 18 years of my life, right? And the rest of life I'm in a wheelchair. So I can see both sides, and all the lessons this has taught me like strength. And that's a hard thing to give away, saying that, if I'll take this injury away. But yeah, I would definitely like to play soccer and kickball and, jumping jacks and stuff like that. And, so if there was a cure tomorrow, I would definitely do it, right? But like I said, I'll be satisfied. If I would never walk again, it's okay, right? I'm still going to live life regardless. And I'm doing pretty fine doing that right now, right? You see what I'm saying? I'm doing pretty well. But like, I would definitely do it. Yeah, we'll definitely do it.
Yeah. No, I think that's very well said, and I think a lot of times you feel a potential obligation to say, you know what, I love being disabled, and I don't want to change anything. And some people say that, and some people mean it, but I'm always a little bit skeptical. Like,
Right.
I'm like, you're lying
I,
if there was a cure and you wouldn't go get cured. You know what I mean?
I don't think because of the whole thing getting cured or me walking is being normal again. I'm not getting it to be normal again. It's just to have my abilities again.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
I'm saying it's not.
exactly. And
I
that,
think it's because it's just not. I'm posting. It's just to be lip. Yo, I want to go to the walk with my lady. You know what I mean? Or it's the ability.
no, 110%. And yeah, it's kind of neat if you think about it, how having a disability teaches you a cool way to look at the world and be more open minded. And you can say, you know, if I don't walk again, I'm fine. I'll be just fine. That's kind of neat to say, right? Because I'm sure upon your initial injury, that might have not been the case, you know. So it's like the fact that you're here, you're doing what you're doing, and you can say that. I mean, hey, that's a win. You're winning, you know. So
Yeah, to piggyback on what you said, like when I first got injured, if you told me I would have said that out my mouth, I would say you're lying. I would not. You get what I'm saying? So it's so crazy.
yeah,
Like my growth and it shows you how like this disability actually built some type of character within me, like strength, right? Because like you said, if you had asked me this when I first got injured, I'm like, you out your mind. I need to get out this chair right away. I'll just look at you crazy, right? But
yeah,
here I am, like almost 10 years later, and I'm telling you, like, yo, listen, if I can never walk again, I'm fine. I'll be okay.
yeah.
So it's just all about perspective, and it's like, yo, it's like the journey, right? The journey brought me here, right? The journey brought me here, and I'm like I said, I'm grateful for the journey, but like I said, if Elon Musk is coming up with a chip, you put it in a monkey's head, and I'm putting a chip in my head. I guess I gotta do it. You know what I mean? I'm like walking backwards. I don't know, but listen, at least I'm standing upright. So
Yeah.
I'm down for it, man. Chip me up. Put that chip in my head. I don't care. Line me up.
Oh, that's awesome.